All right, Monday evening. Some of you probably finishing up a little bit more, getting your taxes all taken care of if you haven't already. And I got mine taken care of this weekend. A lot of late minute things there to get taken care of. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. It is Monday evening. It is quiet. It is dry, very dry from earlier today. And we'll hopefully see again some very common conditions over the next several days. But for right now, no major problems being seen across the area as we see some very dry conditions. Coming up, we'll take a look at tax day weather. We'll take a look at the next meteor shower coming our way. But again, it may not be the best weather for it. In the meantime, if you've never listened to a meteor shower, we'll tell you more about that and how you can get involved in that coming up by the time we hit this weekend. A lot of stuff going on outside of the weather. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Taking a look outside real quick, kind of neat to be able to see the stars of Orion coming into view on the Island Cove camera. So we've got a very nice view from the overhead area for tonight and not doing too bad across much of the area for this evening. Let's take a look and see what we can see. If I can get this loaded up here real quick from downtown. Also very much on the bright and dry side. Not seeing any problems here for this evening. The lights of Lookout Mountain visible just over on the horizon. And we'll take one more trip over to the CHI Memorial Stadium camera back toward the 2475 split. Traffic moving along quite nicely at this time, post rush hour. Very dry, very good conditions for traveling for tonight. If you have any plans for getting out and about for this evening, as we see temperatures quite pleasant out there, but notice again the humidity. It is bone dry out there with 23% humidity at the airport. Winds have calmed down extensively. They were breezy at about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now we're seeing again some very calm and dry conditions out there. Very nice for the rest of the evening. So not seeing again any major concerns for tonight, so good news on that. But if you are planning on traveling tonight, it is going to be very brisk once you get up in the morning. So we'll take a look at that forecast in just a little while. Very close to where we should be on the temperatures for today. Almanac page showing some very good conditions there. Record high that hasn't been broken since 1955. Nothing in the rain gauge. Still dry for both the month and the year. Typically, this can be one of our more wetter months of the year, depending on the conditions. This time around, it is turning out to be a little bit drier. Depending on what happens, we should be able to see again the potential for some more rainfall coming our direction into the next couple of days. But other than that, we're not seeing too much of anything out there, at least for right now. I want to thank our latest West Shore Home weather window picture of the day submitter, Lindsay Mallory. Thank you very much for the beautiful view of the rainbow over the interstate around the East Brainerd area. You can see it just in the picture there. No supernumerary rainbow for tonight, but thank you for that. That's our West Shore Home weather window picture of the day. We post these to social media, so if you'd like to drop your picture to our social media pages, please go ahead and do so. We're mainly active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And again, if you'd like to email it to us, please do so. Pictures@wdef.com. Love to have you along for the ride to see what you're seeing out there and to send it along to everybody else. If you don't want to use your name, that's fine, but just give us a short description of where you were, what you were seeing, stuff like that. It's easier for us to tell everybody else about it. And of course, we'll be posting it to these locations coming up here within about the next couple of hours. Little, if anything, going on. Nothing on radar at this time, even close to the area or even farther away. It's very much on the dry side across much of the area here. We've got a little bit more rain and snow showers in the colder area as that area of low pressure from earlier this weekend now swirls its way over the Great Lakes and heads its way back over to the east and taking that large storm system with it. That's the system that was here just a couple of days ago, giving us the chances of showers into the weekend. So as of right now, that is gone and making its way away from us. High pressure doing just what its name implies, pushing down to the surface and keeping things very much on the mild side, basically shutting off the Gulf of Mexico from giving us anything in the way of precipitation. Now, we do have another series of storm systems coming on through across the western United States into the area of the Great Basin toward the Rockies. All of that, once it meets up over the Rockies, is going to kind of smush together, and that is going to be our next storm system getting a little bit closer to us. But here's the thing, that whole storm system, this entire mess out here, is going to take several days to make its way all the way over toward us. So we have little, if anything, taking place until then. And matter of fact, it looks pretty quiet pretty much throughout the rest of the week. The 7-day forecast is going to show some very chilly numbers for the next day or two after the weekend, but otherwise not doing too bad out there all the way on through. So looking into tomorrow, again, it is that time of the year. We've had the deadline extended a little bit because April the 15th fell on a weekend, and today was a holiday in the District of Columbia. So tax day officially comes tomorrow for Tuesday, and that is where we will see again the good news of some very nice weather coming our direction. And that's one less thing that we have to worry about when it comes to tax day. Severe weather on tax day always just kind of seemed to be a little bit too much extra to worry about, especially in way back when I remember it, dropping the forms off before midnight in the line at the post office and having rain and wind and severe weather and stuff like that. This time around, don't have much of a problem whatsoever. It's going to be a beautiful day. It should be a very quiet evening, and all the way through Tuesday, we're just not seeing anything in the way of problems out there. So for tomorrow, again, looking good. If you have any plans for outdoors, or if you're going to be stuck indoors finishing up everything to make certain that you're getting it all taken care of, great opportunity to be able to do so on that. So no major problems being seen here, and looking good into the rest of the week pretty much as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at your 7-day forecast, if I can figure out where I left it here. Here we go. And again, for the rest of the next few days, it is going to be on the mild side, no question about that. Temperature is going back into about the lower 80s tomorrow, upper 70s, lower 80s, and then all the way into Friday. That's where we see the potential of some scattered showers taking place early in the afternoon, better chances of showers, maybe some thunderstorms taking place getting from Friday evening into Saturday. And the shower and thunderstorm chances here might last all the way into Saturday night. That's not exactly good news for the meteor shower, a shower of a different type coming up. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Temperatures go from the upper 80s around Thursday to the upper 60s by the time we get into around Sunday. So a bit of a cool down coming on through, but chances of rain relatively limited, and the best potential of rain or thunder Friday into Saturday, we're just not seeing anything in the way of major amounts of rainfall coming through. So some chances of rain Friday into Saturday, but really that is going to be just about it into the next day or two. So again, for right now, the rest of the week looking very much on the dry side, and seeing again that potential for some chances of showers and thunderstorms by the end of the week, but really that is going to be about it. All right, coming up in the next few days, good opportunity to do some stargazing with the very dry weather out there. But into the next several days toward the weekend, this is going to be one of the bigger events of the year. It's not a huge meteor shower, but again, it is one of the biggest ones of the year. It's the Lyrid meteor shower, so named for coming out of the constellation of Lyra the Harp. Coming up this weekend, Saturday night into Sunday, April 22nd and 23rd, looking to the northeast. Earlier on during the evening hours, and then rising to about the zenith, is where the what's called the radiant will be, where the meteors are coming out of that general portion of the sky. Most of them are going to be short, very fast streaks, but there will be the possibility of seeing some longer streaks going on for some brighter tailed meteors going on through the atmosphere. So it will be seeing again that possibility for this weekend. And again, we're not talking about a meteor storm. Some years the Lyrids have blown up to 100 meteors per hour or more. Typical is going to be about 18 meteors per hour. That equals about one every few minutes. So that's not too bad for a decent shower. The problem we've got is for this weekend, the forecast does call for some scattered showers and some thunderstorms. And also, again, not totally cloudy, but definitely not totally clear either. So we could see some problems with seeing into the next few days, into the weekend. Now, again, this will be on the tail end of Saturday evening. So by that time, the clouds and the rainfall should be starting to dwindle and then getting into early Sunday morning if you're going to get up early to see that before the sun rises as Lyra goes down in the west. You might have some better opportunities to see that, but here's the cool thing. If you can't see anything, you can still participate in the meteor shower and you can listen to the meteors. The really cool thing is that when the meteors hit the Earth's atmosphere, the molecules become ionized, and that does a good job of reflecting radio waves. There's a site in, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's New Mexico. It's a good opportunity to be able to see a little bit more about where these go to. We'll explain that here in just a little bit. But basically, this radio transmitter sends out a broad signal, and it just keeps on transmitting at a certain frequency. When the meteors hit the atmosphere, instead of bouncing off the atmosphere at a typical angle, the angle gets much shorter and bounces back to the receiver site at a different angle and a different reflectivity point. So there's a difference in what you hear when it comes to the meteors. You won't just hear background static, you will just hear, let's see, okay, that's not going to work, so we are going to have to, hang on one second here, let me get back to my meteors real quick. I was trying to get the camera to work on this, but we're just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. The video website to take a look at all this is livemeteors.com. That's livemeteors.com. And all you have to do, let me get the camera up and working here, so that what you see is this display. And what you're looking at is eventually, every once in a while, hopefully it'll happen while I'm holding this up here for just a second, you'll see a continuous transmitting line of radio frequencies and a spike right there on the waterfall display. But occasionally, somewhere around, there's one right there. Matter of fact, that's it. And if the speakers were up, you'd be able to hear sort of a ghostly whistle. And there's another one right there following behind it. So there is some meteor activity for right now. So livemeteors.com, again, that's a very good place to go to listen in to meteors hitting our atmosphere. I used to put this up for kids in the classroom when I was a substitute teacher, just to watch and listen and to hear about meteors heading on through. So if you have the opportunity to take a look, or listen at least, if it's cloudy this weekend, then you don't even have to worry about it. You can just listen in to the meteor shower. There's another one coming on through right there. Another one just hit the atmosphere, so neat to be able to kind of see that. But again, livemeteors.com, good opportunity to see more about that and to listen in on stuff, something people don't really consider for the most part, to see certain things like that going on. So the opportunity to hear instead of actually watch the meteors coming on through. If you have the opportunity, if you'd like for us to appear in your classroom, if you're a teacher or an administrator, please go to our Food City Weather in the Classroom program and request a visit from our weather personnel. That's WDEF.com. And click on Weather in the Classroom, fill out the forms, and we'll be able to see about doing a schedule right there for everything. Have to thank Mrs. Hayes, Mrs. Hayes and her third grade teachers counterparts for the very nice thank you card that I got today from my wife, who is actually a tutor at Red Bank Elementary. That's up on Mountain Creek Road. Thank you very much for that. And also have to thank the students for some very colorful, very well-designed cards out there, nicely done on everything, including one that was in here someplace that had all the different types of severe weather written into the thank you. Some very good tornadoes out there as well. So nicely done on all of that. Thanks again to Red Bank Elementary for some very cool cards and gifts, again, for asking me to come up there and help out. And by the way, I don't know who Mr. Sawyer is, but if Mrs. Hayes doesn't believe you, your homework is here. It got snuck into the pile somehow, but thank you for that. And that was included in this right here. So just wanted to make certain Mr. Sawyer knows that his homework was, and Mrs. Hayes knows that his homework was done, but it just wound up here with the thank you notes. So thank you guys very much for that. Rest of the evening, again, little if any problems coming up. And if you'd like to contact me, again, by email, you can find me at aonek@wdef.com. Social media, I'm all over the place. Reddit, YouTube, Mastodon, Counter Social, Instagram, every place out there pretty much that's available. So check it out if you have the opportunity to do so. You'll find me out there someplace taking a look around at various things. So again, nice to have you along for the ride, and glad to keep you up to date on what's going on out there. That's pretty much going to do it. It's a very quiet, very dry evening. Here's hoping it stays that way. And again, through the next several days, not much of any other problems being seen out there. Bishop Bob, good evening to you. Thanks for tuning in. Glad to see you checking in for tonight. Appreciate that. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. 5 o'clock, that's Eastern time on the morning show for Tuesday, and I'll be back again tomorrow evening to keep you updated on everything going on there. And again, if there's something on here you want to see more of, more astronomy, more satellite picture, more science, anything like that, please let me know. And drop me a line at Aonek, AONEK, at WDEF.com, and be glad to have you along for the ride there. So thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. You've been watching Weather Overtime, WDEF News 12 exclusive video weather blog, keeping you updated about weather in the Tennessee River Valley and parts beyond that. Stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and online, and we'll keep you advised.